In this video, 2 of 2 for today, I'm going to cover. Oh my gosh. Let me think. Yeah. Yeah, way to go, man. Unplugged. You know. Oh, that's what the book is called, Unplugged Alpha. From Impossible and Cars. I don't want to talk about that right now. I'm not afraid of that. Actually, you know what we should talk about? Is why I think everything is relevant instead of relative. Okay? So, in this video, we're going to talk about why I think everything is relevant, not so much relative. I'm not afraid of disconnection. I'm not afraid of disenhingement from things that actually don't deserve to be together, even if no matter how I see it otherwise. There is a sense because I have shower work to do. I literally know I know how to have fun in the meantime, but it's like I have shower work to do that I shouldn't have to do. Some people don't think you should even be doing shower work. Just explore the world and go on your own terms and have it follow you otherwise, and have your creativity be a guidance for that. There's there's a good gambit for things like even the more the merrier with like different opinions and all that, which seems to be sage wisdom. I don't believe in the sage wisdom. Don't feed the trolls though. I'm gonna keep mentioning that at random no matter what. See, that's what I mean. It's like I so much relative, not relevant, or relevant, not relative. It's how I thought. I have all these connections, neural pathways. I don't have to just address them in a ASD format, but there you go. Or even the PMO format. But it's like, it's. I don't mean that as only bad or only good, but you know. Or another video would have been otherwise called, can things only be good or bad? Only good or only bad. But for me, when the quote, everything is relative comes around, it's based on how you compare and contrast things. When the form that I make is relevant, it is indeed not just connections, it is how they can be associated by being the same thing or completely different. And it's like, but when the only association is relevant, and then it's more specific and it's also more limiting. But that limitation becomes more expansive. The game that I was just on for years, Incredibots, and even Game Garrison 2, they had limitations that they learned how to be resourceful with, and pretty much anyone that was there in some form wasn't just intelligent. They were people that you could actually like realize that how they influenced how their affluence influence from those games. There's even more than that. There's actually even more popular ones like Telltale's The Walking Dead. Then there's other ones like PopCap's Plants vs Zombies. These games, and even like Pokemon Coliseum, Pokemon XD, these games teach you how to be resourceful from a strict standpoint. They may not have an ethical or moral standpoint of alike of that, but they do have a way to show you that you're never doomed nor screwed. You have a way to make these things work. I don't have to just make that reference to anything else because that's sort of the point of this video. Any random thing I see in this whole video is going to erase part of my point of everything is relevant. But I'm not going to take that for granted in a bad way. But the connections I make and the thoughts that come out of my own brain, they don't have to take advantage of anything or anyone. Some people already feel that has happened. Jesus, I am going to throw in one more random topic in here. It is how people can dismiss you no matter what you already know or don't know. And I think, and another random thought I'm going to throw in without even explaining fully is how you can cultivate your slow life without doing that as a tragedy. And another random thought I'm going to throw in here is how you, without completely explaining it, is how it feels to live a life that specifically entails logos, ethos, and pathos without having to directly deal with them but still care about doing them. And another random topic I'll throw in here at random with a good intent and meaning behind it without making a video that people can... Oh, there's another one after this. Okay. So like with how you can actually care and still look like you didn't do anything. Or do nothing, or do something and make it look like it actually did matter, only mattered or never mattered, only mattered, never mattered, only mattered, never mattered, only mattered, never mattered, etc. Look at that reposition for bullshit. Now, and the next thing was just like how you can manifest a reality that doesn't look as limited as people make it seem, or even life itself makes it seem. That's maybe not the thing that's what I'm saying, but yeah. Look at all those random topics I just brought in the fray right there. I actually didn't even have to finish with the first one. I just said at the very beginning of this video. But you get the idea though, right? It's like for me, if everything is relevant, then nothing has to be out of the loop. This can confuse and even piss off a lot of people anyways, but it is, by golly, how I think. And these neural pathways I form, they don't have to serve me any better than anything that would be simple or better organized. And, oh, this is not in the question. This is not the topic. We're not going there. This is my boundary. This is my privacy. This is my self-respect. This is my personal responsibility. No, guys, look. You know how brilliant I am. All you do. And it's not something that I brag about either. I actually have to hold that standard to myself. Whether I make that too stricken for being actually arrogant and selfish, or too below bar for being too self-hating or dismissive of myself. And that's the word I'm using is dismissive indeed. So you don't have to think like me to know what I'm thinking. There's a video I just made earlier based on the Dilbert comic. No, not Dilbert, Dustin. And in that comic they did mention that. And it was a very good theme. It's like you don't understand us. You don't have to be understand. No, you don't have to understand to be understanding. And that's. I don't just say it to kind of incite a bit of a Asian hate program kind of thing, but there you go. It's like a anti-Asian hate, stop anti-Asian hate, whatever. Oh no, I mean stop Asian hate. Okay, okay. But it's like and if I wanted this video to be labeled something else, then I could just say coronavirus 2019. No, okay. It's like, I meant unpresented times. Oh, I gotta prevent that logo somehow. Video editing. Oh, I can't do that right now. Okay. I didn't take advantage of this video just by saying a bunch of random shit. I actually wanted to make a point. I'm gonna make one more random point, and then that is how to be in tune. I made a video about this early on anyways, but it is how to be in tune with your dominant nature. This whole video has become a Dupless convict kind of like, you know, Convict from Newgrounds or Dupless from Paper Mario, that kind of thing where you just doppelgang the heck out of you're just shape-shifting everything. Okay, I might have most of my experience, but yeah. This next topic will now be, the same video will be how to be in fine-tuned to your own nature of dominance. Not just as a guy, but as someone who actually cares about what they're doing and still feels like there is not much taking off the ground, but at the same time it only looks that way, but at the same time there can be some truth in that too, in fact. And there's a reason that fact and truth can be the exact same thing. I'm going to leave that open-ended for now for some reason, even if it's not literally true. But, and then one more random topic I'll throw in here is how professionals still need training, even if they are already fluent with what they got, to refine their skills and to learn new things that don't have to be anti-milestone, but they can still matter in the moment. And another random topic I'll throw in here is how, I'll push for 9. 10, I got that, okay, 9, 10, okay. 9 minutes, 10 seconds. How you can still multitask with focus being the problem, and you can still have focus for good reasons. I'm going to throw in a random topic again, one more time. It is that my next final topic will be stay still because I'm just on the move. Nah, because I got that cleared away for the 9-10. Okay. And what up did I say after that? I mean, just look at this, by the way. Look at that. You can't see the whole thing, but it's in the middle of my non-lit room, natural artificial light, whatever. I'm not too big on that for some reason, but that said strength on my piano, electronic piano, and you want to know what I actually got the 2.5% idea from for this playlist? It's from a workshop I did, and I was very truthful about who I was as a person from the inside, even my darkest self, I guess. And I still found a lot of ego boosting from the fact that I was actually seemingly that rare when I'm 40. But I was honest, and I was honest about the good and bad things about myself, and all of them. And I managed to realize that there were things I could do with my limitations that would still be a abundant thing. You don't understand that if you're gonna lie and be like, oh, but I have to, and this is me anyways, this is the kind of person I would be, I'm gonna prove that lying, cheating, and stealing is evident of good stuff, not just only bad. Or whatever. Jesus, that's another random topic, but that had nothing to do with that, but it's so relevant. Everything's relevant. But, and the freaking kind of storylines I'm not used to doing with like an anime and horror genres and live action horror genres and other kinds of anime genre. That's another random topic. Okay. But back to the topic I mentioned earlier, in this last part of the video, when I found out that I suggestively wouldn't have to specifically be 1%, which would be the cliche, the Casey Xander kind of cliche. I can't link his end card right away, but it's when you have enough of a relevance and a uniqueness, relatability, and originality. You're having the kind of personality that doesn't have to just be in a buzz sense, oh, no, you're not your thoughts or you are your thoughts, or that you have to be someone that so disassociates from those things. Because even then, I'm going to build a connection anyways. I'm going to build a bridge that connects those things. I'm not even an architect. What did I say that for? Wow, that really almost gave me a fucking adrenaline rush. You heard me say that though, so you can look that over. I'm not gonna repeat that again though, because I said I said what I said. But you 2.5% is the idea that you're not too unique to be a disease, but you're not too relatable to be not any better on your own. And I think it's like codependence has always been my thing. I mentioned that thumbnail before for my last expanded 4 minutes video, but when you actually care enough about yourself that you don't have to be better than anyone else to matter anyways, that's still already a good thing. But that's what the idea with the playlist was literally just knowing your worth without being worthless, and then going from there. And the people who have to explain to me that I'm worth it, they don't know any better than I do, but they know enough. The strangers and associates I have, it's actually kind of sad. Like even my family and friends don't understand this way somehow. But it takes someone who only knows me for 5 minutes, and there are a good number of my friends and family who do know things I don't know about myself. But the people you would otherwise have said stranger danger to, or unfortunately you would have actually said, oh, they're not relevant. They're not in my career. They're not in my social circle. Why should I care about them? Why should I even care what they think? But the reality is that you really should care about what anyone thinks. Not just even if criticism was never going to be the point, even if the I don't give a fuck attitude was never supposed to be the point, even if the everything in life isn't a priority, wouldn't be the point. Sorry, Temple Grandin. But which is kind of, again, as I keep revealing over and over and over from the Deep Talk episode 3, how that arranges itself, mandatory and forbidden, those invisible forces at work. These people had to tell me that I was worth it, and they were not even bragging. They had to admit that, even if it was only for the time we were there. You can call that, in an arbitrary sense, you could call that one night stand with a person who cares about you. But it's like, many times that's happened to me, and I'm still friends with some of these people anyways, but in real life or on the internet. But I really don't want to have to end this. I think the reason I'm still here is subconsciously because I don't want to end the video without leaving a good point about the second video I'm going to make all day. I might have to, if that's the case, I'll make another video in the middle of the day later on. But just because like I did last week for the video for the Talk 76, that was just a random video that wasn't part of the schedule, but it was good for that 40 minutes. This is already going to be 13 minutes. I already had a couple of distractions on this phone, so but. So you saw me strew in a bunch of random thoughts in here that I knew were not going to be part of a topic. So how am I going to title this video now? Well, I already know how to title it because I know everything is relevant. So the thing. So I thought that's so much of knowledge than it is an idea. But the people who had nothing to lose, but still a bit of a awestrucking to work with, to tell me that I'm insightful, and to tell me that I actually may have there's something different about me, without necessarily being the kind of person who can see that himself sometimes. So I admit that, with however arrogance I go with that. But I admit that there are things that are talk about me. I never was actually hard on myself before. I don't know why people still think that, but it's like, I always never gave up. But it's like, but Jesus, the things that I had to like witness, the things that didn't make sense to me, but I knew what I was doing, and the things that I had to know from other people that were not relevant, but they still were resourceful, and I was the kind of person who could still utilize those things. What you have to understand is that if I don't know how to do something about something, or if I can't do something about anything in that situation, it does not prove fact is not the same as truth, it does not prove that there's a time and place for everything. It does not prove that you can have a life of your own without consequence. And at the same time, consequence isn't so much the legitimate thing that people think it is. Not even in the literal sense. Because consequence just literally means sequence in a structure. It doesn't have to be negative. But, and if you want to debate me on that, I mean, I guess we could, because I'll be like, it's not a debate, there's a logic behind this, there's a fact evident thing behind this. Okay. Sorry, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but, unless I'm wrong. But then I'm down with the person who so said that truth is the same as fact in certain ways, not just different. Look at all these trigger words. I clearly have a monster inside me. I literally, I do have things I'm afraid of, but I don't want to be afraid in the same way people are afraid of me, because that makes me become the people who betrayed me. Not in a literal sense, not in a derogatory sense, but that's the stuff I need to work out on my own, obviously. But it's as per maybe what the life quest is about. I mean, that's probably what the future videos will be about. It was stuff like the life quest, literally that idea I had when I was 15 years old, I think it was. So it's almost been 10 years since that idea, but almost. But you have to come to terms. You guys have to come to terms with that. You still matter. You don't have to You don't have to make it so that everything in your life is relevant like I do. That's just my path. It's my path to intentionally make it so that life is complicated, to deliberately make it so that I don't have to be afraid of the words I use, that both remind me of how people have dealt with me, and how within self-promotion within itself, how saying any of this can make me upset and traumatized, but at the same time, I'm not the kind of person who gets duress or stress. So, I have a lot of these weird beliefs that people think are the opposite of why actually is going on, which is the same way I feel about them anyways. I had these weird thoughts about how, as much as I've never had emotions before, and I'm not lying about that, but the emotions, especially the emotions I do really have, even the ones I don't, not just fake, but not the non-verbal cues I fake, but even the emotions I do have, those are coming from a place that I don't understand. And it's not so much that there are new experiences or things that I should have been used to. The things that the worst thing about being an abstract learner, an abstract thinker, isn't so much that, the sustainable wisdom I have. It's when you even have a new experience that you already knew about. You can, as the same light I proved about how you can promote an idea without believing in it, you can know that something is there without experiencing it. This goes against anything you learn about chemical versus physical change. It goes against anything you understand about the physical versus metaphysical worlds. It goes against anything. See, that's what I mean. I'm not just a spiritual person, but it's but most people will pass that because they'll be like, oh, then you don't understand entertainment, or you're just getting bored because you haven't tried to figure out things about entertainment. What is that? So I did put entertainment in that lingo for results, purpose, and stillness, apparently. But it wasn't just the woo-woo stuff. It was literally anything I could understand from my inside. It was just my paved way things. But the difficult thing about being an abstract thinker and learner is that you can already understand something without having any idea what that fucking is. That's when you know when something is missing, and you know what is missing. And it's sometimes you know what it is, but you don't have to have experienced it at all. This is why I again, this is a trigger word, but advocate. This is why I advocate the experiences of portrayed instances, because when you, and at the same time choosing not to act as an action itself, these insightful things, until you've actually been the kind of person, I have to say it like this, I'm sorry. If you've been the kind of person like me who can brag all day they want that their tragedy is unique and still substantially be wrong in a truthful manner, somehow, somewhere, but it doesn't, I'm gonna lie about this real quick. I'm really scared. That may be true. And in fact, at the same time. Hell yeah. I'm really scared. I don't understand that. I don't even think that's true. But I have to say that because if I advocate the idea without believing in it, it proves my other point, that everything is relevant. Because, not just relative. You have to make it under account and accord that you know what is going on, even if you don't know what you're doing. That parallels for me knowing what I'm doing and not knowing what's happening. But don't worry, whichever one of those you have, whether life is simple or easy, or complicated and hard, or either one of those interchangeably, even you'll be okay.